This is at the lower line elevation, but you go up to about 30,000 feet. We've got another area of high pressure, so that's giving us the offshore winds, and while they're not real gusty, it's enough to dry us out, keep us warm on Sunday. Highs tomorrow coming up another 5 to 8 degrees from where we were today. This is going to be the coldest night that we have seen. It has been a stretch of freezing temperatures. And then over to Borrego Springs, look at this. You've got some of those dark clouds, and see how they're bubbling up underneath there? Anytime you see them bubbling up, that's a good indication that there's some hail starting to form inside of there. Those flurries fell all the way down at sea level, and when we talk about snow, we often reference the snowfall levels. Snowfall levels expected to drop down to about 15 to 2,000 feet, and we wanted to reference some locations. San Diego's at 13 feet above sea level. Poway, the mountains and the hills just east of Poway is where we're likely to see some snowfall. What I want to show you here is look at this map. It shows the smoke from the fire we told you about earlier over near Pine Valley. So the wind here coming out of the north-northeast, and that'll be the case tomorrow. East-northeast winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, low relative humidity about 10 to 15%, and the gusts at times will be closer to 50 miles per hour. So the fire's right about here, right along the 8, and most of that smoke will head on down south into Mexico tomorrow. But it looks like that's all in response to an area of high pressure that's given us the heat as well. That ridge of high pressure parked just over us right now. Clockwise rotation coming our direction. We also have a storm over New Mexico, counterclockwise rotation there. Since we're sandwiched right between the two, you can see how it's funneling through in this general direction. All of the wind coming through here, and that's why we're getting some of those strong offshore winds tomorrow. So still hot and dry. Temperatures will come up about 3 to 4 degrees from where we were today, and today we were in the mid 80s rather. And tomorrow, remember, we move our clocks forward 1 hour, so we have an additional hour of heating. This is for Thursday night, so we'll get a few scattered showers Thursday night. Maybe a couple left over into Friday morning. Most of Friday will be dry during the day, but then the second one comes on in, and the position of the second storm is going to be farther down to the south, so we'll get some rain and, yes, some snow across our hills. And it looks like this is going to be a Friday night event. So if you don't have the rain for the morning commute on Friday, the evening commute is going to be very tricky around here. And we'll get 1 to 2 inches of rain from that storm. So this is the main storm. It's just now moving right along the coast there. The front has already passed through. That's what gave us the showers early this morning. What we're getting now is some wraparound moisture coming around this area of low pressure. All those little scattered showers, those little clouds off in the distance are the unstable air coming on through, wrapping around that area of low pressure. So some of them do have some hail, so we could have some thunderstorms tonight. And also rain, anywhere from trace amounts to 1/4 of an inch. Snow down to 3,500 feet, 1 to 3 inches of snow by tomorrow morning above, say, 4,500 feet. On a water vapor loop, what I want to show you here is we've got a couple of storms. You've got one in the Gulf of Alaska, one along the U.S.-Canadian border, and a ridge of high pressure setting up right over us. So this storm we watch closely. I want to kind of highlight everything for you. Here's the area of high pressure. Moving forward with your futurecast, that storm will travel down along the Rockies. This area of high pressure starts to build. We get the winds coming in out of the north tomorrow, not as strong as they were today, but we start to warm up a little bit more tomorrow. So instead of the northeast winds tomorrow, we get the north winds. Then on Tuesday, those storms continue to slide down to the south, break this ridge of high pressure down just a little bit, and we get a good solid sea breeze out of the northwest. So temperatures come down just a bit on Tuesday, and then this ridge of high pressure starts to rebound, and we really see a warm up as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. This is the storm that I'm watching as we go through the next several days. Lots of showers and a couple of thunderstorms embedded within it. Counterclockwise rotation around that, and it looks like it's coming right to us from the southwest beginning tomorrow. So cloudy and windy at times through tomorrow. Showers, a chance for them late tomorrow evening, but most of it will come in on Monday. I'll stop the radar and the satellite loop at 4:17 a.m. Here we are, and look at all the cloud cover passing right up overhead. So that cloud cover acted as a blanket to keep the temperatures in the 20s and 30s. So we didn't see quite as many of the teens for overnight lows thanks to that cloud cover, even though it moved through rather quickly. At night, ice forms on top of these sheets of paper, and it traps some of the heat underneath, protecting some of the plants. Snow in San Diego. These pictures were taken in January 1913 at a frozen fountain in the area now called Horton Plaza. It was 22 degrees outside. The San Diego History Center shared these images with 10 News. You can see men in their hats and coats holding broken chunks of ice from the frozen fountain waters. This picture read, "Once in a lifetime in San Diego." But it happened again. In January 1949, snow covered the palm trees and the parking lot of the county administration building while a snow shovel was used to clear the steps. Measurable snow fell in 1913, 1949, and 1967. Trace amounts fell in 1937, and flurries flurries fell in 1987 and 1990. Those flurries fell all the way down at sea level, and when we talk about snow, we often reference the snowfall levels. Snowfall levels expected to drop down to about 15 to 2,000 feet, and we wanted to reference some locations. San Diego's at 13 feet above sea level. Poway, the mountains and the hills just east of Poway is where we're likely to see some snowfall, and Ramona at just below 1,500 feet is on the cusp. We saw several inches of snow with the last storm that fell in Julian, likely to happen again with this storm. One area to watch, though, is traveling 8 east, just outside of Alpine. Alpine at about 1,800 feet. We're likely to see some snow just east of the 8 with this very cold storm. It's been 23 years since snow fell in San Diego.
So we're due in a few years then, right?
Reggie Robinson and Lauren Gleckman would like to see it in their lifetime.
It'd be cool if it snowed here because we could hang out by the beach in the snow. That'd be awesome.
Perfect.
In downtown San Diego, Craig Herrera, 10 News. Workers at BY's ranch in Escondido were hustling to cover these strawberries.
For the cold, for the freezes at night.
They have about 100 acres of produce that need to be protected from the freezing temperatures, and it's not cheap.
It's about $900 for the material itself per acre.
You might be surprised by what it's made of.
One layer of a baby diaper.
It's finely spun and turned into these sheets.
At night, ice forms on top of these sheets of paper and it traps some of the heat underneath, protecting some of the plants.
It's a technique Lawrence Keller is also using in Fallbrook. He has 30 acres of shrub and protea.
I went to 3 different places to find frost cloth and they're all sold out.
But he found some, and he's also irrigating his crops at night. The water plays a key role in prevention.
It will freeze over the leaves instead of freezing inside, causing the cells to burst. And that's what happens, it kills your plants.
Each plant has a value of about $150, and he'll send $30,000 to Ecuador next month. Farming and agriculture is a $1.6 billion a year industry in San Diego County. Eric Larson of the San Diego County Farm Bureau tells 10 News, up to 10% of the county's crops are subject to freeze damage. The cold is also having an effect on the produce coming in from Imperial County. Farmer Ralph Strom tells 10 News there will be a shortage of lettuce, cauliflower, and cabbage. And you may see an increase of 2 to 3 cents per serving, but supplies will increase to meet demands in 1 to 2 weeks. The cold slows the growing process, but doesn't affect the quality. And the quality is what farmers are trying to preserve. In Escondido, Craig Herrera, 10 News.
For San Diegans who are frustrated with the process and going through the city website, there is an option to erasing graffiti in their neighborhood. There's a new person at City Hall appointed by Mayor Faulconer to fix potholes. Potholes just like this one. This one's at least 2.5 feet long on this street in Webster. We found dozens of them right along this roadway.
There's peaches, there's lettuce, there's flowers.
Stephanie Coughlin has been farming in Carmel Valley the last 25 years.
I think that it's the obligation of every citizen to respect and try to conserve the resources that we have.
And she's using innovative ways to conserve water on her organic farm.
This is water conservation. It's watered from the top. It drips down into the 5 levels.
But irrigating the 2 acres is adding up. A few years ago, her monthly water bill was about $200. Now it's about $2,000. So when she heard of an unfamiliar product called Solid Rain, she decided to try it out.
Stephanie is using the product in potted plants and areas not used for food production. She says they're using less water, and so far the results are promising.
This is Solid Rain. It's made of potassium and looks like sea salt, but it's said to absorb water up to 500 times its size. And it may save 50 to 80% of water usage depending on the climate and soil conditions. Here's how it works. You simply add the granules to soil and mix it all together. The polymers act like micro reservoirs of moisture right at the root level, and the water is released back into the soil when it's needed.
Since there is no excess water loss, the nutrients that are already found in your soil stay in your soil.
It has a shelf life of 8 to 10 years in the ground, and after that it turns back into potassium.
Translate.
Stephanie has not used it on her product yet because it has not been certified organic, but she's hoping that won't take too long. In Carmel Valley, Craig Herrera, 10 News.